Glitch just greenlit a full season of the amazing digital circus, and it's now under development. And to know more about what's going to happen and when episode 2 is going to release, I'm going to take a look at Glitch's animation team's development process for the show to try and get as much information out of it as possible. And the best source to start at is the show's lead animator, Kevin Temmer. He did a huge portion of the animation for the pilot episode, and he definitely knows the most, except for Gooseworks, of course. But the best part about Kevin is the fact that he used to work for Glitch's other popular show, Murder Drones, which is important because in one of Kevin's videos, he reveals that the Jax walking animation is actually a reused animation from Murder Drones. Now, this may sound like just a cool detail, but it could speed up the release of episode 2 tremendously. Although, they can't just reuse a bunch of different animations for everything, because obviously the show would just look weird, but the fact that they can reuse assets and animation from any previous or future Glitch show means that episodes will come out a lot faster, and maybe even other Glitch shows will use assets and animations from the amazing digital circus to speed up whatever other show that Glitch releases in the future. Another thing that speeds up the process of making the episodes is something called camera cheating, where they cheat to the camera by having the things just outside of your view not animated to save time. For example, if you remember the scene where Ragatha is walking and talking to Pomni in the dorm hall, they literally just bobbed her character up and down rather than using the walk cycle for her legs to save extra time. And they do it throughout the entire episode. Even in the very beginning, when Kane gives the intro to the circus, they kept his brain and heart props off of the screen and only made it look like they appeared when he needed them. And this allows the process to be a bit quicker, as they can be sloppy at some points, but the show still does look polished. But the most insane example of this, which I didn't realize until Kevin showed it off, is after Jax runs away from Kaufmo and finds Kinger and Gangle by the gloink hole, they had him far away talking to them, and once Jax pulls out his bowling ball, they needed him to be closer by throwing it at Kinger and Gangle. So they literally just teleported Jax once they did a camera cut to get him to that position, and none of us even noticed. Look at the difference in distance between these two shots. It's something you would have to animate, or at least see it be animated, to even know, which means that they'll do this for future episodes as well, speeding up the animation for season 1. However, the most important part of the show is the writing. Without a good story and dialogue, no one would care about this circus. It's the mysteriousness of the setting and likability of the characters which makes us interested in the circus, and Gooseworks has done a very good job at it. But the thing is, she already finished writing ages ago. Since Glitch does the animation and Gooseworks does the story, Gooseworks individually worked on the writing while waiting for the show to be greenlit. And she literally wrote out the entire season already, which means we just need to wait on Glitch to animate this show. And since they use their cheating to the camera tricks, they're already going to be a bit quicker. But the animation all starts out with the storyboards. The animators can't just make the show from nothing. They need references and things to work off of, which is where the storyboards come into play, as they give a quick glimpse as to what they should make, along with the voice acting, which allows them to make the scenes actually feel alive rather than look like a school science video animation.
Oh, thank God you're okay. You didn't experience a game show in there, did you?
And thanks to Nezaha, we get to see what it's like to make the storyboards. They put the ones they worked on into a YouTube video, which shows us the storyboard versus the final scene. And one thing that stuck out to me in particular is that they'll even leave notes on the storyboard for the animators to include. Like the shot of Pomni's face says slow dolly 200M, which probably has something to do with how they zoom in on Pomni's face to really show the emotion that Gooseworks was trying to convey, with Pomni realizing that she's trapped in the circus. They also leave notes for zooms, like during the Gloink Queen scene when it goes from Jax to Gangle and Kinger, they left a note saying TRK out, which I'm not sure what it means exactly, but it's a type of zoom they use to get it to look better. Although with the storyboards, they do a balance of making them quick, but also showing enough for the animators to go off of.
understand. I didn't know what to do.
Kinda rude, Zubul. Now I don't wanna help you.
Oh, I always lose.
Yes!
You can see that these are literally just stick figure drawings cut out of a white background, but when they have to animate certain things, they show it through the storyboard as well. Like when beating up the Gloink Queen, they specifically put certain punches to make it look more cartoony so the animators knew what to put. And this helps with their communication as they are a big team working on the same project. But there are still two final pieces that most people overlook when it comes to making these episodes, which are the music and voiceovers. Now you may think that the voiceovers are easy, but they definitely aren't. For the English version, yeah, but the pilot episode was actually dubbed in 15 languages. Even Mr. Beast videos are dubbed in 14. And to make all these dubs, they first make the English, and then they have to add 14 more languages, which considering they have 8 characters with voice acting needed, and 15 languages, they need over 120 different voice actors, or maybe a little less because some people can do more than one character, but still an insane amount of work and coordination goes into just the voice acting alone. And the music would be fairly easy. However, Gooseworks does it all herself, the same way that she does all the writing herself. However, it's definitely good that she has full control over it because the music that she made for the pilot episode was spot on to the show. If you remember the ending scene with the music that made you realize that Pomni was stuck in the show forever with that big granular ending.
Eat, drink, or sleep in this digital world. So the digital food here only gives off the virtual sensation of eating without any of the nutritional benefits.
Sheesh, lay off it. Since when are you an expert on the digital world?
Expert on the what?
It was perfect, but only one person making 10 plus different songs is a bit much. So it's possible that she'll just make the music while waiting for the animation, or they'll probably use some of the tracks from the pilot episode like the beginning intro music, so they don't have to worry too much about composing all new songs. And with all of that, that's why it's taking so incredibly long for episode 2 to come out. But let me know down in the comments with your guess as to when it's coming out. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video here.